We have another round of World Cup qualification matches on today. And I just want to try a new system. So, if you go to www.freesupertips.co.uk/previews. In this case, I am looking at Thursday, so yesterday. And they have a collection of tips. Now, there are many sites, giving their expert views. But I've been impressed by this site. I mean, it's there. It's not just automated. This team has won 3 times, so it'll win again. It looks at each match and zooms in on the interesting bet, where the value might be. So I'll just actually look at some examples so you can see what I'm talking about. And you can always go to this site and have a look yourself. And I've got nothing to do with this site. I mean, I just came across it. So, for example, we can just click on View Tip for the Syria versus Australia match. The preview has expired. Again, the game was yesterday. It tells us the form. So we can see Syria has, they haven't lost. Australia has lost, but it's also won. The main thing is it gives specific tips. So it said both teams to score with 2 stars. So I assume that means it's more confident about this one. And they think it'll be a draw. Both teams did score. I did follow this advice. I didn't do the draw. I'm not actually sure what happened in the end. Either way, it won. It gives a summary of the game. So it tells you a bit about the background of each of the teams, what the context of this game is. So it just brings you up to speed. Since I didn't know anything about either team. I mean, I know that I don't expect either team to win the World Cup. So yeah, I basically know very little about either team. I'm more familiar with Australia. So my bias going into the game would be that, yeah, I'd imagine Australia are the better team. But at least this gives me information. I'll move on to another game where I know the result. So in particular, what I want to do is look at a couple of these games because we know what the result is. These are games that happened yesterday. You can look through this site yourself. So look through, what did it predict would happen in the Premier League last week or 2 weeks ago. Compare that to what actually happened. So that way we can get an idea about whether whether I should be paying attention to this. So on to the matches. first game, Azerbaijan, Czech Republic. Don't really know about either side. I mean, I remember Czech Republic was very good. I mean, I'm an Arsenal supporter as well, but even before that, I mean, Rosický's great player. They had a really good World Cup. Now, I don't know what state the team's in now. I mean, was that a golden generation that I was familiar with who were excellent? Are they now, back more to normal? I don't know. We'll just zoom through the next 3 games. So, see what they said. So again, we can see the form. The tip was both teams to score and Azerbaijan double chance. So Czech Republic not to win. Now I'm just going to go to the BBC site. So here it is, bbc.com sports football, World Cup qualifying, European scores, fixtures. Basically, if you just go to World Cup sports football and just click to get here, probably easier than typing all this out. Azerbaijan 1, Czech Republic 2. They said both teams to score, so that worked. They said Czech Republic not to win. So in the first game, they got 1 right, and if you had bet on that, you would have made more than double your money. If you bet on this, you would have lost. But since you made more than you bet from this bet, you should have come out on top. On top of that, they had 2 stars for the both teams to score. So they were saying they are reasonably confident that we're going to have both teams to score. This was more a 1-star bet. Probably worth making, but they weren't incredibly confident about this. Maybe it would have been better just to do a small bet on Azerbaijan to win 2-1 at 15-1, so a fraction of what you would have bet on both teams to score. If we look through the description, they give lots of interesting information. So, Azerbaijan have shipped 6 goals in their last 3 games, or last 3 at home. So, again, I didn't know anything about either side. This suggests that Czech Republic are going to score. So Czech Republic are most likely going to concede goals. Have they been scoring though? Azerbaijan come to this point into this game a point ahead of the Czechs. So that means these sides are actually pretty close. Meanwhile, Czech have lost 3 of their last 4. All of these matches have been high scoring, especially with the visitors conceding in 4 of their last 5 matches. So it gives all this kind of information about each game. And as I said, I knew nothing about this game. So from this side, I can be brought up to speed on the relevant details for each of the matches and decide for myself whether, does that sound convincing? The Czechs have just 2 away wins since the start of November 2015. They didn't get a clean sheet away in the Euro 2016 qualifiers. So the Czechs have been conceding all the time. So from reading from this, I would imagine that Azerbaijan are going to score. Their last meeting finished 0-0. Azerbaijan won the other recent meeting between the pair. Okay. Azerbaijan have shipped 6 goals in the last 3. So this tells me that I expect Azerbaijan are going to concede goals. And this tells me the Czech Republic are probably going to score goals or concede goals. And so that's sufficient for me to go, yeah, I think both teams to score is going to happen. And they're giving me better than evens odds for that. So yeah, that sounds good. Now we know from the BBC side that actually the Czech Republic won. Though I can see why they recommended this bet. Yeah, the Czechs have just won 2 away wins, or have had just 2 away wins since the start. So we don't, in general, the Czech Republic don't have a good away form. So I wouldn't expect them to win. If I'm able to basically get evens odds on the Czechs not winning, that does seem a reasonable, like a sensible bet. So that's game 1. Game 2, Armenia, Poland. Both teams to score, Poland and both teams to score. So we expect Poland to win and both teams to score. Again, both teams to score, and these are better than evens odds. Both teams to score has a 2-star. So most likely this should happen. And we're getting double your money. So yeah, that sounds good. And this is very good odds, 9-4. We can read the context for the game and see whether we're convinced. So defensively though, Poland can be vulnerable. Despite topping the group, they only have the 4th best defensive record with 1.375 goals per game conceded. Both teams have scored in 5 of their 8 games. So that's not huge. Both teams to score that's only happened 5 out of 8 times. So the odds should be kind of evens. And they conceded 4 times in their most recent away game in Denmark. Okay. Yeah, I'm not that convinced by the 5 and 10. Armenia are unlikely to hit 4 here, but there should be a goal in the game. They've netted 6 times in their 4 home games. Okay, so what this is saying is, okay, Poland might only be involved in both teams to score about half the time, but Armenia have a good attack. They've scored 6 in their last 4, and both teams to score, and both teams scored in their away games against. Oh yeah, both teams scored in their away games against the top 2 sides in the group. But Armenia are at home this time. So what happened in their away games doesn't convince me that much. But at least it gives us the background, and then you can decide yourself whether you're convinced. Armenia have conceded 2.375 goals per game. Both teams have scored in 63% of... So both teams have scored in more than half of Poland's qualifiers, and yet we're being paid more than evens. So it seems a reasonable bet, but I don't know whether qualifies as a 2-star. So it's not automatic. This site, I mean, if you want, you can just read the tips and do what it says, follow the tip. But you can also think to yourself and go, did that convince me? Okay, and then bet. So that's what I really like about this site, since they're not just giving you a tip, since I don't know how they came to that. So why will I pay any attention to this? But they give us the reason. So, this team has qualified. The other team is knocked out, so they've got nothing to play for. I don't know what impact that has. I mean, when you're playing for your national team, most of the time, you're not gonna. I mean, you're gonna try and play well. So anyway, what did they say and what happened? So both teams to score. Ta-da! Oh, sorry. Armenia 1, Poland 6. So both teams scored and Poland won. Both teams to score, you would have made more than double your money. And Poland to win and both teams to score, you would have made more than triple your money. Sorry, getting carried away there. You would have, if you bet €10, or if you bet €4, you would have made €9 profit. So you would have made over 200% profit. They also did a score prediction. They thought it was going to be 3-1. That's at 11-1. So, you'd only make a speculative bet on that. So if you lost that, which you would have, it would have been a very small loss. One more game to go. So, but you get the idea. Firstly, that they also give context so you get to decide yourself. And secondly, they're pretty good. I mean, if you had done that, I think I did do the both teams to score. I don't think I did that. I did follow their advice on a couple of South American games, which lost. I won other ones. So it isn't a free money site. Finally, Northern Ireland, Germany. So Northern Ireland both of these teams have qualified. They are the top of the group. Northern Ireland have been incredible. I mean Ireland, the Republic of Ireland. So Northern Ireland, small population. They don't have any superstar players and stuff, but they've qualified and they're doing remarkably well. So their tip: under 2.5 goals. Germany to win 2-0. Score prediction: Germany 1-0. What actually happened? Northern Ireland 1, Germany 3. So both teams, Germany didn't win 2-0, and it was 4 goals scored as opposed to under 2.5. So here they lost. They got all of them wrong. And they were pretty confident, they had 2 stars. It was a last minute goal for Northern Ireland. So if you'd been trading it, you could have hedged it. I mean, I normally if my bet is maybe down to 1.2 or 1.1, so it's nearly, the market nearly has it as a short thing at this stage. There's no harm maybe hedging half of it, so that when you lose, you only lose half the money. It does mean that your wins get reduced a bit, but if you can hedge at 1.1 or something like that, that normally is a sensible bet. So that's just freesupertips.co.uk. As you saw, sometimes it can be right, sometimes it can be wrong. But I mean, that happens myself. I mean, there's no magic method that lets you predict the future. Otherwise, this would be an absolute money-making machine. And why would you put it up for free? At the same time, I think there is value on this site. Or, I mean, I'm quite new to it, but it looks better than I really would have expected. Since, as I said, it fills you in. So it gives information about each of the teams, which I didn't otherwise know. So it's good for prep work. So that's my introduction to free super tips. Next, I'm going to look at today's games. So these are looking at, here's this new site for me, Free Super Tips. And here's how it did in the games yesterday. Next, I'm going to look at the games today and compare its predictions to my Poisson model to see whether they agree or differ, and which one does better.